Everybody, and welcome to the latest episode of Redcar Athletic TV. The Steelmen are still unbeaten in their quest for back-to-back promotion. The latest result being what could be redeemed as maybe disappointing 0-0 draw last night at Hunt Elmley, but the lads are certainly doing well in their first season in Step 3, Danny.
Yeah, they really are, and I know we're going to go on to the results individually, but there's one in there specifically. Saturday's result was just absolutely terrific, and you know it's a real benchmark now for Carl and the team to kick on from and say, look, these are the standards we can set. A draw with Bury, a big win on Saturday. You're going to have games where results don't go your way, aren't you?
Yeah, you are. It's the core of the squad is still the same that romped promotion last season. So a lot of them are making a step up to a division they may well not have played much football in before, but with that in mind, they're still doing very, very well. It's you look at any team that is averaging 2 points a game in any league, and it's not as if it's only the first couple of games. We are 6 games into the season now, Danny. So the league is starting to take shape. There can't be too much disappointment at this point.
No, I think if you'd have offered just about anybody the start that the Steelman have had so far, they'd have absolutely taken it. So I think it's just a chance now to get feet under the table, crack on and kick on.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's go into the games a little bit more if we can. I think the first one, as you mentioned, Saturday's results, 5-0 away win at Warrington Rylands. When I was speaking with Sean last week on Redcar Athletic TV, and I was saying what we've had so far from Redcar Athletic, I think it's just been every single type of game. But then this one came along, and a 5-0 away romping against Warrington Rylands at the Mugs. No, far from it's. The other Warrington team are doing slightly better in the league so far this season, but still the no Mugs, Danny, as you mentioned. Bit of a statement.
Yeah, I think it's a real, as you say, a statement, but also that standard setter. I know I alluded to it, but this is going to be the sort of performance where Carl and the leaders in the group are going to go back to it. You feel in a couple of weeks, and when there may be a rough spell later on, and say, look, this is what we can do, and this is what we will do to the teams if we just focus on us. I know it is a step up. It's a big step up for a lot of players, but that also needs to be viewed as a big opportunity, and looks as though so far it's been taken by a lot.
Yeah, and before we dive deep into the game as well, we'll hear a little bit from Kev Burgess, who's joined the coaching staff this year, and he spoke to Rami just after the game, Danny, and we'll hear from Kev now. So his thoughts were on that fantastic 5-0 win.
Kev, 5-0 win today. How are you feeling after that game?
Proud. We just said to the lads in the changing rooms there, to come away from home, Warrington Rylands. I don't know if they've ever been beat 5-0 at home, but fantastic result. Every single man, worked extremely hard. 5 goals, clean sheet. We're in a good position in the league. We can't ask more from that from the boys. Really proud.
And obviously Andre got his first 2 goals for the club back to back as well. How proud are you with him?
Massively proud. That's what we brought him in the club to do. He's a big man, holds the ball up really well, wins his headers, and to get 2 goals that were well taken, by the way, is fantastic, and long may it continue for the lad.
Obviously another 3 points, and like you said, the 5 goals and the clean sheet. Is this the start life you're expecting in Step 3, or is this even better?
Well, I wish we won every game 5-0, but it's not going to be the case. It's a really tough league, like I said in my first interview with you. But like I said, to come away from home against Warrington and put in a performance like that, the subs that came off the bench were fantastic. It shows you how good that we've recruited in the summer with our squad. And like I say, I can't speak highly enough of the performance. Every single goal was brilliant. I know they got an own goal, but the clean sheet, everyone knows I'm a defender. Clean sheets are just like scoring a goal as well. So I thought the back lads, Maz, and as a team as a whole, our shape is, we were really hard to beat, and that's what you always build off. You build off them clean sheets, and then we'll get chances going forward with the quality that we have up top.
And we've got Emily on Tuesday night now. Obviously we faced them last season, weren't able to score against them at all. What is the preparation going to be for this match?
Same as always. We'll have a look at Emily, see how they've got on this season. But to put another performance in like that, but we'll be going into Emily, score goals, get another clean sheet, and win the game.
And finally, Bosch scored in the first half, which Taylor's all the time is Bosch getting on the score sheet. Is it nice to know that you can still put the ball in the net even at this level?
Yeah, Boise's played at this level and higher leagues. You know, that's what Boise does, and you know everybody knows the name Adam Boyes wherever we go in these leagues. If we give Boise chances, you know he'll score goals. He's just, you know, he's pure quality, top player.
So Danny, there's the thoughts of Kev Burgess following that fantastic win. It's safe to say he's pleased.
It's hard not to be.
Well, yeah, it's hard not to be really, in it. There was a good following there as well. I spoke to a few of the fans after the game as well, and they were absolutely buzzing with the performance. It's not exactly around the corner to go to a game like that, but Kev's obviously very, very happy. There's a couple of debut goals as well for you know, young Hardy as well. 2 goals. Adam Boyd getting on the goal scoring sheet as well, and Curtis Ram getting a well-deserved goal, an own goal. We'll talk about Hardy in particular. You know, he's come from Shildon, very, very good footballer. He's definitely offered Redcar something different up front this year, Danny.
Yeah, he has, and if you look back to last season, he did very, very well for a Shildon team that were there or thereabouts as well. Let's not forget that. So he's making that jump up, and I think we're seeing, you know, a couple of players joining from Shildon. We're seeing the impact that's had on Shildon this year as well. So I think I think we discussed it in the first episode. He's a really clever signing. You know, these players that have done very well, too good for the step below, and you know it can be a risk, but you need those different options, those different types of players up front, especially when you're going to be playing against teams that play all sorts of different football in this division. You're going to be playing against, your free-flowing attacking teams. You're going to be playing against teams that sit and try and nick a point. You're going to be playing teams that will just kick you to bits for 90 minutes. So having the different profiles at the top end of the pitch is probably music to Carl's ears, I'd guess.
Yeah, I agree, and I think again what we were saying with Sean last week, we've seen that in the league already. Warrington probably tried to play a bit too much, you know, from the feedback I get from that game, and I think if you do that against a Redcar side, that maybe feel like they've got a bit of a point to prove. No, they came off the back of a 2-1 win against Lancaster City, so they really want to go and show them they belong at this level, and they've absolutely done that this season already. But if you go to the next game on Tuesday night, played Elmley at home, it is an Elmley team that did beat Redcar Athletic at home last season. It finished 0-0, but the feedback from the game, particularly Danny, when I spoke to people at the match, Elmley didn't exactly come and try and play against Redcar, where last year they did. Is that again, maybe some people wise up a little bit, like, you can't out-football this side?
That's exactly it. Elmley will be thinking, look, if we can nick points against Redcar Athletic, if we can nick points against a Bury, somebody like that, that'll go a long way towards where they want to be at the end of the season, which I think it's fair to say it's not the same aspirations that Redcar Athletic will have over the next couple of years. So they'll be happy to just try and scrap a point here, scrap a point there. And to be fair, that looks as though that's exactly what they did, and credit to them, but it's a case of, it's a real wake-up call to, you're going to play against teams like that. You had a taste of it. How do you then go and beat it next time it happens?
Yeah, I think that's something, again, it's for Carl and his team, it's something they're going to have to try and, how do you play against this style of football, because I think you've nailed that there. Redcar have been promoted and won the league at a canter last season, and we know they've got aspirations of finishing the playoffs this season. Elmley, they'll just want to retain the position first and foremost, see how they can build from that one. Redcar's got very quick ambitions. When we were speaking with Sean last week, he wants to be a full-time professional football club. He's looked at the South Shields model and how quickly South Shields will do what they do. That's what he wants for Redcar Athletic. Elmley are happy being there. So with that in mind, they're playing against a lesser side than Elmley. They're not just going to come and hit you. But Elmley did create a hell of a chance, and Maz with a fantastic save again last night. And again, what Josh has shown throughout this season already in his previous 2 years at Redcar, how invaluable he is to the side.
He's just a wonderful goalkeeper. I think there's not too much else you can say about that other than he is somebody that the Steelman will do very well to keep hold of for as long as possible, and have done well to keep hold of for as long as possible, because you just sort of see him. He looks like he's destined to play probably professional standard.
Yeah. He's got everything as an out-and-out goalkeeper, and the attributes you want from a goalkeeper, his body build and everything. And I dare say if he watches this and his family saying that, they're probably sick of me praising Josh on a regular basis, but he is that good, he's that good. Speaking of that good, you can't argue about Danny Lay's impact this season, the captain. He's been absolutely outstanding this season. We're going to hear Danny's thoughts on the 0-0 draw against Elmley right now.
Danny, man of the match today in this 0-0 draw against Emily. What have you made of your game and the team's performance today?
The team's performance was a little bit frustrating at times. I don't think we got hold of the ball well enough higher up the pitch. And on my own performance, I've basically just done my job, just defending counter-attacks at times. And then obviously another clean sheet. So obviously we're happy with that, but the result overall, we're a little bit frustrated. Nothing seemed to work for us higher up the pitch today.
Obviously, about this time last year, we'd lost 2-0 to them. What do you think was done over this past year that has kind of at least got a better result today?
I think obviously we're winning the league last year, and we've had a decent start this season as well. And they're a good side. They're solid defensively. I think their record showed that last season. I think they conceded less goals than us last season. So they are like a solid outfit. So they're hard to break down. They come in sort of sat in a low block, probably after the first 20 minutes maybe, and we couldn't really break them down. We didn't test the keeper enough.
Obviously, moving on, we've got United and Manchester on Saturday, who at the start of the season were tipped to be near the top, and now seem to be having quite a troublesome season. Is there any changes to plans, or is it still the exact same focus as always?
Like I say, I think it's just the gaffers they'll have a plan for Saturday's game. I probably wouldn't look too much into how FC Manchester are doing, because obviously they're a good side. They've obviously done well in previous seasons, so we'll see what happens on Saturday.
And finally, I don't know if you know or not, that was your 100th appearance for the club. Is there anything you want to say about how nice it is to kind of reach that number?
Yeah, it's good to reach that many appearances for the same club. So yeah, and it was, like you say, I'm always fit and get the odd suspension, but I'm not really injured that much, so it's good to get the appearances up.
There's a thought of the Steelman captain, Danny Lay. A personal milestone for Danny in the only game, his 100th appearance for Redcar Athletic.
Impressive at this level to have somebody who sticks around for that long.
And it really is. It really is. We see it with most non-league sides pretty much having to change the side year in, year out. Coaches leave, players leave. It happens. It's a merry-go-round.
Even as high up as National League and League Two, you see that with a lot of teams where you will do well to find a lot of players, even higher at the pyramid, who are at the club for 100 games.
Yeah, without a doubt. And I don't see Danny leaving too soon. You know what I mean? It's, as he mentioned in his interview, he makes sure he's always fit. He'll get the odd suspension here and there, but I think that's the nature of his game. Can't argue with that.
The thing is, though, why would you leave when a club's on a trajectory like this?
No, well, you wouldn't, would you?
No.
You wouldn't. And the partnership him and Danny Rowe have got at the back at the moment, it's superb to watch. It really, really is. And it's a partnership that looks like it at worst case belongs at this level. In the games I've been to see the Steelmen live this season, Danny Lay's been absolutely outstanding. I'd say, the two defenders of him and Danny, and then Josh behind them, you won't find a better setup than them in this division. You just won't. If anyone says there is, you're just watching the wrong game of football, in my humble opinion, Danny. They are that good. But one thing you say about Danny's thoughts on the game itself, it's a 0-0 performance. It's a clean sheet. It's against a team that beat them last season. Still hugely disappointed.
But I think that's a testament to the mindset that Carl and his staff and everybody at the club has sort of built. It's like, if we don't win, what's gone wrong?
Yeah.
A lot of teams would have been happy to come out of a scrappy game with a 0-0. And especially when you say it's a team that beat the Steelman last year, it's one where you could look at and say, oh, look, there's improvement. There's natural improvement. But I think this is going to be really, really key over the course of the season, that mentality too. It feels like bouncing back, but, normally you would bounce back after a loss, but now Redcar are bouncing back after a draw. That is exactly where you want to be.
It's crazy you say that, because I think that is, again, it's a sign of where the club are now, because they still haven't lost a game in the league since they got beat by Matlock before Christmas last year.
That's such a crazy statement.
It's ridiculous, isn't it? And there's people, leaving that game last night think, I don't know how we didn't beat them. Even bearing in mind, Elmley beat Redcar at home last season. So, again, the Steelmen are certainly on a trajectory. There is a bit of non-match news from the Steelmen coming up this week. And it links quite well in what you were saying about Josh Musfari in regards to someone who's destined for professional football. Mitch Parkinson.
Brilliant news. You know, set to go on trial with Hull City. He's a big lad.
Yeah, he is, isn't he?
Yeah, I mean, if you're a Championship Premier League team looking into non-league for, the potential next big thing, the big thing you're going to look at alongside age is, height and size. Mitch has that in abundance. Yeah.
And he was signed with, some kind of one for the future. He certainly wasn't coming to start for Redcar Athletic straight away, but when Hull have had their scouts out, they've seen something in Mitch and they thought, you know what, we're going to invite you along and have a closer look. They like what they've seen. And
the thing is, you can't teach height.
You can't teach height, no. You can't teach physical attributes. And I think as any scout at any level, it's, you look at someone who'll do something on the football pitch, that might grab your attention, but there's two things that you'll spot. Someone does something with the football, that makes you hang on a second, what's that? But also you look at the build of someone, and you look on a professional level, you look at Will Lancashire, for example, as a centre forward at Middlesbrough, the way his body shape and everything, but was like, you've been picked on your physical attributes as much as your ability to play football. Yeah. And you look at Mitch Parkinson as you look built to play some form of sport, possibly football.
Thing is, if you're an academy coach, right, you can teach passing, you can teach, techniques, but already having those physical attributes, the height, the size, as you said, the body shape, at Mitch's age, that's going to put him in a really high percentile of players at that age, surely.
Yeah, without a doubt. And nothing but good wishes from obviously the football club, but also from me and you on Redcar Athletic TV to, hopefully, everything goes well and we might be seeing him playing, top flight or Championship football for Hull City not too distant future. How amazing that would be. Speaking of amazing, again, we have to go to where the Steelmen find themselves in the division before we start building up to Saturday's match. They're still unbeaten, 2 points a game, sat in 4th position in the league. There's a couple of teams on 13. There's only Cleethorpes who are kind of flying at the moment. They're on 16 points with a goal difference of 17. It's, I see your reaction.
Ridiculous.
That's absolutely the reaction people were having with Redcar Athletic last season, Danny, in the Northern Premier League East. Breaking all kinds of records. We're not saying Cleethorpes are going to run away with the league at this point, absolutely not, but they're starting to make a marker already. And I think in any other season, starting with 12 points, 2 points a game, after 6 games, you're going, well, that's not a bad start.
Well, think about it. 2 points a game is normally where you look at title-winning sides at, isn't it? Mm-hmm. But to think that 2 points a game might not even be enough to win a league title is mental. Yeah. So it could be a one where there's 2 or 3 teams this season in that sort of 95-point range, which would show the strength of the division. We spoke about this before the season started. It is a very, very strong Northern Prem this year. Yeah. Bury in there, the likes of Redcar, Stockton in there, Cleethorpes starting really, really well. You've got Alfreton, Curzon Ashton just come down. A lot of big teams in the division. Yeah. So I think, 2 points a game, 12 points, you'd bite people's hand off for that start. Yeah,
and it's you're not chasing too much at this point, you're ringing them on it, and all it takes is Redcar go and win 2 games, Cleethorpes lose a couple of games, lo and behold, look where we are, and it's going to be tight at the top. I'm not saying the league's starting to take shape after 6 games, absolutely not, but I think if we're sat here come begin the middle of October, Redcar are still in around that position,
and Cleethorpes are on 70 points by then.
let's obviously we've got to have our Redcar hats on at this point, mate. Let's hope that's not the case.
No.
Know what I mean? But they have started the season well, but I think if in any normal season, and there isn't a Cleethorpes team doing points wise, we'll think, hang on a second, Steelmen are in full control here. Full control.
Absolutely. Also, it only takes, a knock or an injury for one player to derail an entire season. So how many times have you seen it? A team starts absolutely flying, a player leaves, because that still happens a lot at this level, obviously not being professional, that players do just leave and go further up the pyramid. So there's always that could come into play. And I think it's going to be another one of them seasons where you look towards the end. If you think back to, how the Northern Prem was last year, there was about 6 or 7 teams all in about 4 points.
Yeah.
It wouldn't surprise me if it's that close again.
Yeah, absolutely. There's some cracking teams. And speaking of cracking teams, there's one big club in regards to how it started and the story behind it, that Visit Green Lane on Saturday, but it's a club that has not started the season very well at all. FC United and Manchester come to Green Lane on Saturday, Danny. Start the season with 0 wins, 2 draws and 4 defeats. Does that surprise you?
It does. It really does. I mean, they're a big club. You're talking about how they started and, they were in the National League North for a little while as well. So they're a club that will be looking to, get that first win on the board, get going. But this is when you want to play them because you always feel like FC United and Manchester will get going at some point. They're too big of a club to not. Of course, football games are won on the pitch, but you'd imagine they will get going at some point. Now seems to be a great time to play them, especially at home as well.
Yeah, and at home, obviously, we had 389 people in there for the only game on Tuesday night. You dare say there'd be more on Saturday. Obviously, Mills were playing at home does affect attendances, but Mills were kicking off at dinner time. Hopefully, there's quite a few people go to the Riverside on Saturday. I think John will go down to Green Lane. I've been there a few times. It's a great day out. But obviously, SC United and Manchester will hopefully bring a good crowd. I know they have done at Stockton Town in the past as well. So hopefully, a good attendance there on Saturday for the Steelmen. But for me, a statement has to be go and win this game and win this game comfortably, Danny.
Well, I don't know too much about styles of play for FC United and Manchester, but you'd imagine on the face of it, they're going to be a team that plays, which could suit the Steelmen down to the ground.
Yeah.
And not saying it's going to be another 5-0, but how nice would it be to be sat here next week saying that Redcar won 3-4-1, 3 or 4-0? That would be ideal, because then you can look at these individual games and say, that wasn't a one-off. And it won't be a one-off, that 5-0 win over Warrington Rylands this season. There will be other games like that, you feel, where Redcar will just be bang on it. And this, you feel, is a great time for that to all come together.
Yeah, I absolutely agree. And one thing I think for Green Lane, maybe Elmley knew this already from playing there last season, Green Lane can be an absolute leveller for a lot of people. I mean, what they've done with the pitch this season is unbelievable. It's the only green pitch in Teesside, Brown Riverside Stadium. It's a beautiful surface. But if anyone who's never played football at Redcar before, it's hard to play football. It's cold, it's windy. Even first game of the season, it was red hot, but it was still cold as well at the same time. It's
that sea breeze.
It's right on the coast, mate. And I remember playing what was Teesside Athletic then as a kid, and it was impossible to play football there because if you want to hit any ball high, but if you've not done that before, it's an absolute leveller. The Stockton Town had the same scenario when they got promoted to the Northern Premier League, and they had teams who were playing on high-end grass pitch on a regular basis. Come to the artificial pitch at Stockton, it was an absolute leveller. And I think Green Lane can be that leveller, but also in regards to a good crowd as well. So I implore anyone who's got the opportunity to go to Green Lane on Saturday, get yourself there, cheer on the Steelmen against FC United of Manchester. It's a second decent side club to come to the stadium this season, Danny.
Second of many, it feels like.
It does. And again, it's great to see that. And I can keep rewinding the clock back to Christmas 2024 when the club was close and we went to carry on here. Thankfully, things came and saved the club, and Kev was able to get them through the season. And look where we are now. It's brilliant to see, and I think it's that hard work from obviously the likes of Kev round there and the people who came and helped money wise, but also supporters who have been there through thick and thin as well. And they'll be excited for this. Anyone who's going to Rita's beforehand or anyone else, it's going to be a fantastic occasion. And hopefully SC United bring a good crowd as well. Enjoy themselves down at the coast. Get a lemon top, have a few beers, but ultimately leave empty-handed when it comes to points, Danny. I think that's fair, isn't it?
Yeah, I think. Yeah, have the most wonderful day, every FC United and Manchester fan, apart from between 3 and 5 o'clock.
Yeah, that's it. And, any football supporter can tell you that. You can have a great day out, but quite often that 2 hours in between can ruin the day for you. But that hasn't been the case for Redcar Athletic supporters over the last 2 years in particular. Danny, put you on the spot now. Big game Saturday. Give me a prediction.
3-0. I'm going 3-0. I think it's going to be comfortable. And you know what? I'm going to say we're going to be sitting here next week saying it should have been more.
Right. Well, based on your statement there, And please don't feel like this is any pressure from my end. I'm going to go 4-0 to Redcar Athletic.
Always have to one up.
Well, I'll be honest, Danny, I was going to go 3-0. I was going to go 3-0, but you ruined that one for me. But yeah, I'm going to go 4-0. And yeah, best of luck to everyone involved on Saturday. I can't make it, unfortunately. I'm in Germany. You'll be, you're working Saturday, aren't you, Danny?
I am.
Yeah,
indeed.
you can't make it. So everyone who's going to Green Lane on Saturday, enjoy yourself. If you're an United Manchester fan watching this video as well, you know, and you're looking forward to your trip to Green Lane,
comment below, let us know your thoughts on the game as well.
Yeah, love to hear that. It's I know there's been a few Way fans watching these episodes so far and the build up of things. It's great to have you with us. Hope you enjoy your trip to Redcar. The Redcar Riviera is a beautiful part of the world, but I would say that. But yeah, thank you everybody for watching. This has been Redcar Athletic TV. See you all very, very soon.